In today's lesson, you will learn the secret to improving your vocabulary in only 7 days. Welcome to Speak English with Tiffani. I am Teacher Tiffani. Let's jump right in. All right, day number 1. On day number 1, you need to first pick a topic of interest and find a related article or blog. Now, let's look at this a little bit closer to find out exactly what your interest is. Let's say, for example, you enjoy dressing nicely. Well, that may mean that your interest is fashion. Or maybe you enjoy watching basketball. Maybe you watch basketball games with your friends or even with your family on a weekly basis. Well, that may mean that your interest is the NBA. Or maybe you enjoy something with plants. Maybe you enjoy growing plants. Well, if you enjoy growing plants or you have a green thumb, which just means you're good with plants, maybe your interest is gardening. Or maybe you even enjoy, let's say, reading. Let's change that. Maybe you enjoy reading about and also watching and even playing golf. So that would mean that your interest is golf. And finally, maybe you actually are really good at playing the guitar. So that may mean that your interest is music. So as you can see, there are many different interests that we can have. But the most important thing is for you to choose your favorite interest or something that you really enjoy doing on a regular basis. Okay? Now, the next thing you have to do is to find an article or a blog about that interest. So, for example, let's say you want to find a magazine article. Now, magazine articles are really good because magazine articles include interesting monthly information, okay? They come out on a monthly basis and they give monthly information, okay? Or maybe you want to look at a blog. Now, blogs are very good because they include the opinions of others, okay? Opinions of others. So it can give you a different aspect about or a different aspect of your interest. And finally, maybe you actually decide to find an article in the newspaper. Now, newspaper articles are very popular, okay? One reason that newspaper articles are so popular is because they include daily pieces of information, okay? Daily pieces of information, and they're updated on a regular basis. Let's do this. I'm just going to write daily info. Remember, info is just short for information. Okay, this is day 1. Find your interest and then find a blog or an article about your interest. Let's move on. Day number 2. Read the article or blog and circle 10 words. Now you see what happened. On day 1, you don't have to read the article. You only have to find it. On day 2 is when you read the article. Okay, let's look at this a little closer. Now, with this one, what you need to remember first of all is that you must read the article or the blog, read the article or the blog very carefully. That means you need to look at each of the words in the article, okay? Next, what you need to do is to remember that there will be many unknown words, that there will be many unknown words. And many of my students have become very frustrated with this because they feel like they don't know enough English vocabulary. But you must remember at this step on day 2, even though there are many unknown words, you need to only circle the words you have never seen before, okay? The words you have never seen before, okay? Sometimes there are words that you have seen in passing. Maybe as you're driving or walking around, you've seen the word before. If that is the case, don't circle that word. Try to find a word that you've never seen, okay? Now, only circle 10. That's very important. Only 10 words, okay? And the last thing to remember is don't worry about the other words, okay? Don't worry about the other words. Sometimes when you worry about every single word as far as memorizing it, your brain can be overloaded and you get very stressed, okay? So don't worry about the other words on day 2. Only worry about these right here, these 10 words, okay? Let's move on to day number 3. Day number 3. On day number 3, we are going to write the definitions and the sentences from the article or blog. Okay, so let's look at it in a little bit more detail, all right? Now, the first thing we need to remember again is that on day 2, we circled 10 words, okay? We got 10 words from the article or the blog that we read. And as we said before, we're going to write down the definition of each word, and we're also going to write down the exact sentences from the article, okay, the exact sentences. So the sentences came from the article or the blog, okay? Now, what you're going to do after that, okay, after you've written them down, what you need to remember to do is this. So put this right here. You need to remember to go over the definitions and memorize them, okay? This is the time that you're going to start memorizing a lot, okay? But remember, it's actually only one group, okay? They're a group of 10 sentences. So you're going to memorize the 10 definitions. This is the definitions. Now, for the sentences, you are going to do something a little bit different, okay? For the sentences, your only goal is to do what? Read each sentence 3 to 5 times aloud. This is very important to do it out loud. You need to speak, so you need to say it out loud, okay? This is your goal for the sentences on day 3, okay? Let's keep going. All right, day 4. On day 4, you are going to change out the words, but keep the same sentence. Okay, let me explain exactly what that means, okay? So again, what do we have? We have 10 words, and on day 3, we wrote down the 10 sentences, right? Okay, now this is what's going to happen. This day, we can also retitle it Practice Finding synonyms. Now remember, synonyms are just words with similar meanings. I'll write it out really quickly for you. Okay, synonyms are just words with similar meanings. Okay, that's what a synonym is. Okay, now why are we looking at synonyms if we're trying to learn more vocabulary? Why are we looking at the synonyms, simple synonyms? Well, there's a reason. The reason is that this will help you remember the new vocab, okay? The new vocab and sentence patterns, okay? The new vocab, remember vocab is just a short way of saying vocabulary, and sentence pattern, okay? Now let's take a look at an example, okay? Let's make this a little bit clearer for you. So we're going to look at an example. So let's say, for example, the word that we learned was elucidate. Now, many of you have probably never heard this word, so I'll say it one more time. Elucidate. One more time. Elucidate. Now, the word elucidate just means to explain, okay? Now, let me give you a sentence. So let's say I read an article or a blog, and in the blog, I read this sentence. To elucidate his point, the man showed a picture. Okay, now what did I say earlier? Remember, the word elucidate just means to explain. So on this day, day 4, what you're going to do is rewrite the same sentence, but you're going to take out the vocabulary word and replace it with a different word. So this is how the sentence you would write would look, okay? To blank space, his point, the man showed a picture. Okay, now I explained before that the meaning of the word elucidate is explain. So we can write to explain his point, the man showed a picture. Now what happens is the next time you see elucidate, or the next time you read the sentence to elucidate his point, the man showed a picture, you will remember the word explain or the definition because you changed it, okay? That is why this practice on day 4 is so important and so helpful, okay? Let's keep going. Day number 5. All right, on day number 5, you're going to find one image to match each word from the article or blog, okay? Don't worry, this is simpler than it sounds, okay? So let's look at it really closely. All right, so again, we have a total of 10 words, right? Let's do that S one more time. 10 words, okay? And let's say that the 10 words we have, let's give 2 of the words, let's say, for example, let me write them down. Let's say one of them is beaming. And don't worry, I will explain what they mean. Number 2 is edifice. Okay, edifice. Let's make this a little bit cleaner. And let's say number 3 was terrain. Okay, so number 1, beaming. Number 2, edifice, and number 3, terrain. So in the article I read, those were 3 of the 10 words that I found. Now, I'll give you the meaning very quickly. So, beaming just means to smile. An edifice is just a building, or you can also say a structure, okay, building or structure. And terrain just refers to field or a piece of land, okay? Now remember, on this day, day 5, you're trying to find a picture that matches the words you found in the article or blog. So, for example, I said beaming, which just means to smile. That means that we can use this picture right here. And what about edifice? Well, I want to use this picture right here. And finally, terrain, or field or land. I want to use this picture right here in the back. So you see, what you're doing is making a visual connection with the vocabulary words that you found in the article or blog. All right, we're almost there. Let's keep going. All right, day number 6. On day number 6, you're going to make sentences about the images using the vocab word. Now, this is when it gets really interesting, okay? Okay, let's jump right in. Now, I'll explain everything, okay? So, there were 3 words that I taught you on day 5. I taught you beaming, edifice, and terrain. But let's just use 2 of those words. So, first, let's use edifice. Remember, a building or a structure. And let's also use beaming, okay? Remember, beaming just means smiling or to smile, okay? Now, let's clean up that G, okay? Now, on the left side, we have our images, okay? So let's start with the first one. So we have this picture right here, which connects with this right here, edifice. So now what I want to do is I want to make a sentence. So let's do this. I'm going to use the red color and I'm going to make a sentence for the word edifice. Now, remember, you can make a simple sentence or you can make an advanced sentence. Whatever your level is, you can decide, okay? Remember, if you need help making longer sentences, watch my video on how to make longer sentences. It's a 3-part series and it will really help you, okay? Let's keep going. So we can say the edifice, remember, this is going to be about the picture, okay? The edifice is located in Madrid, okay? So my sentence uses the vocabulary word, but it's also about the picture. Why? Because you see the word Madrid right there, okay? Now let's do the second one. So we have this picture right here, and we're going to connect it to this word beaming, okay? So we're going to come over here and we're going to write our sentence. So our sentence will be the man and woman, there we go, are beaming across the A at each other. Okay, so again, we have beaming right here, and we also have the fact that they're looking at each other, which describes the picture. Okay, very good. Now we're almost done. Let's go to day number 7. All right, on day number 7, you're going to review the images and say the sentences, okay? Let's look at this a little closer. All right, so what we're going to do is, let's see, we have 10, right? Up until this point, we've learned 10 words. We found 10 images, and we've written 10 sentences to go along with the words and the images, okay? So this is what you're going to do on this day. You need to, let's get a different color. You need to make flashcards. So you can make flashcards using the words and the images that you found. Or, let's see, or maybe you want to look at a notebook, okay? You can use a notebook. And then I'm going to show you visually what you can do. Okay, you can use a notebook. So either flashcards, a notebook, or you can even, maybe you decide to make a digital file. So you can make a digital file, okay, on your computer, on your iPad, even on your phone. Okay, make a digital file. Now, this is what you're going to do. Okay, so remember that on day 6, what did we do? We had an image. Okay, let's say there's an image right here. And we took that image and we made our own sentence about that image, and we used one of the vocabulary words. Okay, so basically what is happening on day 7, we're reviewing by practicing. Okay, practicing using the images and the sentences we made. So again, you can use a digital file, you can use a notebook, or you can use flashcards. Make the flashcards, draw it in your notebook, or even save image files on your computer or iPad. But the most important thing is you need to practice using the images to actually be a trigger. Again, if you need to know what a trigger is, you can go to one of my other videos where I talk about the importance of using triggers to learn vocabulary, and use the triggers or the images to actually memorize the words and also the sentences. This is how you can learn vocabulary in only 7 days. And you keep doing this over and over. Now, if you really want to keep studying English, I have a free gift for you. I would love for you to download this free Speak English ebook. There are tons and tons, actually hundreds of examples and hundreds of expressions, vocabulary words, and idioms. And I made it just for you. So please go to speakenglishwithtiffani.com/ebook and download yours today. I would love to help you. Have an amazing day and watch another video on the left side.